Okay, we are live.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Rosaline. I am from Education in Ireland, Africa. And with me here is the alumni from different colleges. I have Collins. I have Collins from MTU. And I also have Rodney from University of Galway. And to join us soon would be Orolua, who graduated from DCU. So I'll have them introduce themselves and then we'll go right into asking them questions on their experiences and everything that they experienced while they study in Ireland. And if you have any questions, you can please put them in the comment section and we will definitely get to them after all the questions we'll ask them and then we can answer your questions. So over to you, Rodney. Would you please introduce yourself to us?
Hello, everyone. My name is Rodney Kotso. So I studied a Master of Arts in Gender, Globalization, and Rights at the University of Galway.
Okay. And Collins?
Hi everyone, my name is Collins Njoku. Registered nurse. I studied in Monster Technological University in Kerry, in particular.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that brief introduction. All right, so we'll get right into it. Our topic today is how studying in Ireland has helped prepare you for the future, and I'm sure that studying in Ireland has really done something for you guys. So to ask you, Collins, what really motivated you to study in Ireland?
Particularly, before I chose to come to Ireland, I had my own background checks. I had to check, I had a look up on the country in particular on terms of security, job security in particular. In as much as nursing is a field that everyone believes there's always a job for everybody, but I had to do my own background checks to see if it's something that I'll be able to come to a country and study, and at the end of the day, I will progress into practicing. So, primarily, after doing such like numerous search countries and all of that, I figured that Ireland is a country that is quite peaceful, very peaceful, and we one of the best economy in the whole of Europe. So. Um, in that essence, it did motivate me to go ahead to apply for universities in Ireland. So basically, those are the two reasons why what motivated me to study in Ireland.
Great, thank you so much. Rodney, do you have
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Just to add on what Collins has said, for me, it was also the fact that it's an English-speaking country. So learning a new language will just be a challenge, and also the programs that are offered by mainly by the University of Galway where I studied, because I wanted a program that was in gender studies, but because it was interdisciplinary for me, it was it for me. Yeah. So English and the course was what drew me to Ireland as a study destination.
Interesting. Thank you so much. So we'll just go over to the next question. So for you personally now, and what would you say is now unique about you having studied in Ireland and having had the experience of studying? What exactly would you say is has changed about you since you studied?
For me, it's an outlook of life to start with, and also in terms of having a different lens of the way you see the world. Because as I've said, that the course that I studied in gender globalization and rights is interdisciplinary, and as such, I am so much equipped with with knowledge and also what skills. Because interestingly for me, my program also had an internship, so I had the opportunity just to implement all these things practically. So I believe that with my peers in the same field as I am, I'm at an advanced level. Not to brag, but that's how I feel.
No, you're free to brag actually, so it's fine. Still I'll have Orolua welcome. Orolua, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Um, I will have you introduce yourself before Collins get on to answer the same question I asked earlier on, and then we'll just dive right in the conversation. So could you please introduce yourself and the college you studied, Orolua?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Orolua Dairu. Call me Ore. I studied bioprocess engineering, masters in bioprocess engineering. it's 19/20, and currently work with Kerry Gold. Nice to meet everyone.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Collins, let's go over to you then. What would you say is now unique about you having studied in Ireland?
Yeah, I can't even start mentioning, but I will just highlight on few particular gains for me. Like prior before coming to Ireland, I had my own background training in nursing,
Okay.
but I came to Ireland and I figured that yeah, nursing. I'm going to be very specific because with my field in
Yes,
nursing,
please.
I obviously, like in the general sense, they we tell you nursing is nursing everywhere in the world,
Mhm.
but nursing process tends to differ from country to country, and of course if you are in Europe, it's quite different from the North America and US and Canada and all of that. But it's quite, it's at par with each other, in terms of North America and Europe. But coming from Nigeria, there is a little bit of decrease, if you know what I mean. So
Mhm.
I came over and I had my training done, and I figured out that there's a whole lot of things that I thought I was doing right. And right now I have to reflect. I do some kind of reflection, and I look back and I'll be like, oh, really? Okay, I was literally doing the wrong thing, all these years, because I practiced in Nigeria for a couple
Okay.
of years, and I come to realize that there are a lot of things where I wasn't doing right, and I believe a good number of people as well might not be doing right as well. But with the knowledge I have right now, things has changed, and I think I'm more competent in terms of my field.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much for that competency. Although I had asked earlier on that what motivated the other guys to study in Ireland, and they mentioned specific things. Would there be something that really, really motivated you to study in Ireland, or did you just find yourself here by choice, by accident or something?
I would say that there's less pressure coming to Ireland as compared to maybe UK and the likes. You wouldn't find so many people. Find so many people coming into Ireland, so I just felt an environment that is not too saturated because I was thinking about the future after after the masters. What from that, as at that time, 20 years post study, and Ireland was so. Those were the two major things I considered then. Come to
All
Ireland.
right, that's interesting. And so, also, what would you now say is unique about you having studied in Ireland now, and compared to when you finished your undergrad in Nigeria? What would you say that is now unique about you?
I think I
Would
have
you
a
say?
better understanding of.
Okay,
Can you hear me? Yeah,
please go ahead.
okay. I think I have a bit. All right. I think I have a better understanding of both environments. I'm able to understand things better, and when I do things now, I would probably say I give it extra thoughts because I've experienced both environments. And studying in Ireland is actually a very interesting experience because you get to work as you're studying, which I previously didn't do. And the study environment as well, it just builds your person.
Mhm. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for those detailed responses. And so, with your Irish degree specific to it now, would you say how much of it did it prepare you for this job that you're doing now? Because there's a myth that says that if you study in the university, it's not the same experience as when you get into the real job, real day job, and all of that. So, would you say that your Irish degree prepared you for these post-study experiences, like your job, your CV, your application, from your CV preparation to application to interviews, and all of it? Would you say your Irish degree prepared you for that, and how in detail you could tell the audience as well? Rodney, I'll start with you.
All right. So for me, I would say yes, mainly because like at the University of Galway, specifically, there is a career development center
Okay.
where they impart us with skills in terms of having your CV that is market competitive, and
Mhm.
also know how to deal with interviews. And so there is that much support wherein you from that service you end up with a CV that is so good, because sometimes we've got the skills, we've got the experience, but presenting it become a challenge. It's not appealing to the recruiters and so on. So for
Mhm.
me, I would say it really did. I come from a social work background, so like going to Ireland was the program that I studied was to add into the knowledge that I already had, and also to have different perspective to
Mhm.
things. So like right now I'm working in the UK as a social worker. So the program that I did, it also made me understand more about issues of diversity, of inclusion and equality, so that even when I'm able, to stand for myself. I know what I must do. I know what needs to be done. So it also prepared me to that level wherein I'm more confident, and I know the ground that I should stand. So in a nutshell, yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay, thank you so much. Collins, is that the same for you being a nurse?
Yeah, just obviously the fact that the institution where you trained, will give you the enabling environment, just as Rod said, to CV preparation and all of that. Particularly in terms of nursing. Yeah, the aspect of theoretical, classroom and all of that,
Yeah.
ends up has this relationship with clinical matters, when you're in the field. And of course, like during training, I was working then. I was before I got registered to practice as a nurse. I was working as a what they call healthcare assistant, right? But
Okay.
this was a temporary job, but it did broaden my horizon in terms of what patient care centered care is all about. So just going straight to the point in answering the question. Obviously, the my qualification from Ireland has really bridged the gap. Because when I was trying to register in the board of nursing in Ireland,
Yeah.
one of the shortfalls was my qualification from Nigeria. Had a little bit of wasn't at par in terms of theoretical know-how. So at the end of the day, it was a good bridge, like the university and the college and everything, education helped me to bridge the gap.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, our audience. I can see your questions trailing in the comment section. We would get to the questions. Please just put them in, and if you would have any question for the alumni, we would definitely ask them questions after the session. But just hold on and just you can just listen and just go over the questions with us as well. So Orolua, would you just tell us anything, if anything is different about the question?
No, I think it's the same thing.
Okay.
Irish qualifications will actually add value to what you already have. And
Okay.
because the universities have like a support, I'll call them support groups, because we have like the CV clinics, career
Okay.
fairs. Those things prepare you and help you to settle in the country in Ireland. So I'll say, but even the
Mhm.
institution.
All right. So coming from that, would you say then that did the university help in securing employment, or something towards that? Did the university have anything to do securing an employment for you where you are at now? Or really, where
Yeah,
you can go ahead.
with my current role, yes. So through the DCU career fair, and fortunately it
Okay.
was during COVID, so it was virtual. So
Okay.
I was able to speak with different companies, different recruiters, their HR team members, and attending. I remember just to help me prepare my CV, because
Okay.
our CV is quite different in from the in Nigeria. Probably have state of origin and all that, and you don't need that. And speaking to the HR guys as well. It makes you understand the business. It makes you build a relationship with them, connect with them on LinkedIn or network. And with that, I was able to get my current role, and I've been making
Yes.
progress so far.
So so everybody, the gist is you have to get acquainted with all the programs and information sessions that's happening in the college. Will that be the same for
Mhm.
you guys, Rodney and Collins? The Do you have the career fairs that helped you get the job that you are in presently, or like referrals from the college or your department?
Um, Personally, not directly like that, but
Okay.
like the support that I got just helped me to secure employment, on my own. But so
Mm,
in the background, the career fairs played a role, as Arelua said. Those fairs, they give you confidence, boost your CVs, and
okay.
you're able to spread your wings then.
So, with your personal experience, what did you do personally? Like, did you like just go on researching yourself and doing all of this hustling and all of that? Did you do that?
Oh, oh yes, like yeah, these things they need somebody who's curious about things. Your LinkedIn's one of my friends. you know, your Indeed jobs. But sometimes depending on because I mean you do your own research, depending on the
Yeah.
kind of companies organizer you want to work with, you can either go straight to their website pages like I did, go straight, applied, and then secured interviews, and the rest is history. So yeah, so those popular website, your Indeed jobs, yeah,
Yeah.
LinkedIn and the like.
Collins, I know that because you're in the health sector now and everybody just trooping into that assistant healthcare sector and all of that, even regardless of their of the qualification or anything like that. What advice would you have for people that are not in that line but they're just going in there? When you get to Ireland or abroad generally, you then see that some people just troop into the healthcare sector just because it's paying them the stipend that they need. What advice would you have for them just in case because of that they want to change and because of the stipends and the money they get consistently and they just want to go into the health sector? What would you help advise people to do?
I think my advice will come in two phases. If you are a professional, if you have skill in a particular profession, don't lose sight of what you have passion for.
Mm,
Um, then on the other side, um, if you haven't really decided on what path to go, the healthcare system is always welcome. Like it is a venture that I don't think has it's broad, it's huge. There is a lot of room for everybody. But just to for my part, because I know I was doing that temporarily. I didn't really dwell much into it, but
okay.
it's a good venture for everybody. But I just want to highlight something. The institution did the head of the school of like the head of the department of nursing did assist everybody in making sure referrals, all kinds of form. You can always reach her, email her, she's going to get back to you.
Mm,
uh, no matter what you need, if it's a healthcare assistant job, if it's to directly get some form filled by the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Ireland,
mhm.
uh, she will definitely oblige you, which is a very huge, very very important thing. When you can always call on someone and she always answers. So yeah, that's it. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Orolu, I think I want to ask you a question specifically. I would have wanted to ask the process of application to a job, but I wouldn't want to take a lot of our time. But I understand that your job actually took you through processes to get there. So I want you to explain, because sometimes when we're coming from Africa or anywhere else, we just think that probably when you get abroad, everything will fall on your laps and then you're just enjoying and everything else. So I want you to go through the process that you went through during the application, from the application to actually getting the job, like maybe the interview stages, how you sent CVs, how you followed up on all of those things. And if it exists in any of your field too, Rodney and Collins, you can come in later on. But because I know of Orolu was the one, that's why I'm asking her to just take the lead on this. Orolu, over to you.
Okay, so the thing is, there's always going to be a lot of rejections. You just have to keep on applying, and you sometimes you even get to the interview stage, and I think I got one interview, and they said uh, I wasn't done with school. That's why I didn't get the job. That's one. Then rejections, just keep trying. But with my current role, it was a very, very long process. So I think there were three or ABCs. So the first stage you apply, you do like an online test. Then if you pass the next stage, then at the next stage, then you get to do some other stages though. But I know that we had a group presentation. I have actually never heard of a presentation with other applicants. We had a group presentation. We had to they had to break us out into groups. Then people you haven't met before, they just give you a topic out of the blues, and you expected to come up with something in like 20, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then you present. So all those, they are watching a lot of things. Then after that, then you hear back. Then proceed to like the one-on-one interview. So it's really a series of stages, and it's always highly competitive. For the role I am currently in, when I started, we were told that 2,500 people applied and they only picked 10 of us. So
Wow.
just to show how competitive it was. And yeah, that's just the interview. So just be prepared for a long stage of interview. Sometimes it could be short, but mine, in my own situation, it was quite
It's quite
long,
long
and it
and
was
tedious.
different stages. And I still kept applying to different places. And the good thing is, I actually got the job in December
Hmm.
and didn't start till the next year's September.
Yeah. So the trick is someone should start applying as early as possible
As
once
early,
they
yeah.
have a picture of what they're going.
Yes, I think that's it. Just
Yeah.
start applying regardless of the time.
All right. Thank you so much. Rodney and colleagues, did you have any same experience, or is it's a different ball game entirely for you guys?
Collins, you can go ahead.
No, 'cause I was just looking at you to know if you take the lead. I don't mind. Uh, yeah, applying for jobs. Now, to be fair, now, like, I have to fall back to my career. You know, being registered, it's a long process to get registered, right? After registering, you have a license to practice. Before you have the license to practice, you have to apply for job, right? I'm not going to go into details of the registration process.
Yeah.
So I would just focus mainly on I say interviews. You know, as someone that trained or that has some qualification in Ireland, there are major things that you study in school that will be very, very important for interviews. I remembered when I had my first interview, as Rolua said, you get some rejections, obviously. I think I wasn't effectively and efficiently using the star method of, you know, answering questions for interviews and all of that. You know, but you know, you have to build confidence. You have to know your career path. Obviously, you have to be skilled as well. So basically, these are just pertinent issues related to nursing.
Okay. All right. Is there anything different with Rodney, or it's just pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same, except that with mine, I had three stages, but on the same day. So
Oh my gosh,
yeah, so
that's like
yeah,
tedious on the
yeah,
same day.
it was just tiring. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I think it's just also to show how competent you are and how much you can apply to several, how much knowledge you have and application to several different, maybe several stuff that they might be asking. So it's hard work, actually, guys. It's hard work to get into the abroad system, as we would say.
yeah.
All right, so let's go right into asking. So, what's is it promising? Do you think Ireland's economy is promising for graduates looking for jobs in the future, and also for students that are already studying in Ireland? Do you think Ireland's economy is promising? Rodney, I think you should take the lead on this one, and then we go right round.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's a bit difficult to answer this one because I'm not in Ireland, because
Yeah,
I'm
but
working
I
in the
mean,
UK. But
okay.
yeah, because I was there. I think yeah, it is.
Or do you think it's sector specific?
Pardon?
Do you think it's sector specific in sense of maybe the IT was like raving everywhere before, and now sometimes you go into food or you go into health just to make some money or something like that. We're coming from Africa when we're focused on making that real change in the industry that we'll probably will get into. So should it be sector focused that maybe the economy will be good, or is it just anywhere at all?
Because for me, like I was focused on the a specific sector of which, like, it's, yeah, in social care, of
Mm,
which I think it's mainly more of where Collins is, with health and other things, that
yeah.
there is a demand in there. Although, like, because I also have friends who are in different sectors and they also got jobs. So I think it just depends where your focus is, that as long as you're focused to it, something will have to come out of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Colleagues?
Just to answer the question, in Ireland, I think there is this a critical skill occupation list.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if your path or your career is one of this, what is listed amongst one of the um, you know um, employment categories, so to say, I don't think you have any problem. But like like on overview, island economy is very it's I don't know currently now. I'm not an economist, but I think it might not be booming like the way it was over the
Yeah.
years. But I think in terms of in the EU, EU category, they're up there. They're up there, and as I said, my part is health and social science and all of that. So it's part of the critical skill occupation list. So
Okay.
yeah, obviously it is. So you will never be stranded, so to say.
All right. All right. Do you have anything different to say?
Yeah, I think they've said most of it all. Well, at the minute after the pandemic, I think the economy in the world is gradually. I don't know where it is at the minute, but I know that Ireland is promising. Then just going to what Colin said about the critical skill. I know there's also the general. So general like carries more opportunity than the critical skill. And
Oh,
I also just recently got to know that even with the critical skill, you can't like be moving for from maybe a background in food, and because IT is booming, you want to just suddenly move into IT and you apply for critical skill. It could actually critical skills work permits. It could actually affect you getting it because they would also check your background. Like you have to prove to them that you can provide what they don't have. But if you're moving from something you don't know before and you're fresh in, so your background actually matters when applying for those things as well. So that's why, apart from considering that the country is growing, also the general or critical skill as well as your background.
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those detailed answers, and I hope it's just very useful for people in the comment section. So just to say that just go over your college years when you were studying and when you graduated and all of that. What challenges did you face, and how did you overcome them? Collins, let's start with you.
Because challenges will differ from individual to individual.
Yeah.
My own challenge was hmm, I think my challenge was the ability to structure my writing academically. I think that was my major challenge, because after the first semester I didn't do well. Like, I didn't do to my capacity. Like, I felt like I should have done better.
Okay.
um I felt I should have done better, and I had to engage in on this fair support services and all of that,
Mm,
clinical trainings on how to academic writing platforms and all of that. So it was my major challenge, because not that obviously I know how to write and all of that, but when you talk about academic writing, well structured, I think I was having challenges on that. Then secondly, I'll just mention to because of time. Obviously, the weather was a challenge as well coming from Nigeria, but I think every other person would say same as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, but basically the academic writing was quite.
And how did you come about how did you find your way through that? Did you
Okay. As I said, like you have to you have to engage in trainings, because this obviously the institution will provide you with support. You
Mhm.
have to you have to go for the training, link up with them online, physical. And you'll be given opportunities to write, and they'll assess your writing. And over time you get to know, like, it's something that it's not like it's not something, it's not rocket science. It's just you structuring your writing in a proper way. So yeah, I engage in all these on services, like support services that were quite available for me.
available?
I
All
improved them.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that academic writing. So it's more or less important for people to then not only just plan to come and study abroad, like also hone your skills in several writing and other academic skills as well. So it's not just to japa kind of that kind of thing. Thank you so much, Collins. Aralua, would you have something to say?
Yeah,
Do
I
you
think
have
mine was like the structure. The way my course worked was that we had different courses every 4 weeks. So we have two courses for the first 3 weeks. You write the exam the fourth week. Then you start two new courses. Then you write the exam the fourth week. So it took a while for me to actually adjust to that system of two courses for 3 weeks with that. And
wow.
it's write the exam, you're done with that. And the length of the lectures as well, because it was two courses for 3 weeks, write the exam. So the lectures were always 4 hours at a stretch. So fitting into that method of learning was took a while. It took a while for me, but
Okay, the structure. All right, thank you so much. All right, Rodney, any challenges and how you wait through it?
For me, it was the like during the dissertation time, because during the summer, June to August, there when we have to do our dissertation. So because it's so squeezed that you have limited time to get everything across. And for me, I had a challenge with the participants, like for data collection. So it was so much frustrating. But I ended up developing a strategy where I was doing a 9 to 5 in the library. I would go in the library at 9 in the morning,
Wow.
go out at 5 as if I'm going to work, and that was it. Afterwards, I was not touching anything, but it worked for me. And Collins mentioned the issues of academic writing workshops. We also heard that those are very important, because sometimes you'll think that, oh no, I know how to write. Ah, come on,
Mhm.
but you realize that no, your writing is bad. So those workshops are very important, and sometimes also having your those language editing tools, your grammarlies and all those things, just to
Mhm.
help here and there, just to polish up I mean, English is not our first language, I mean. So
Yeah.
that those ones, they always help, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I really like that you guys were practical about everything you went through and how you waved through it. So let's just take some questions from the comment section and we'll just wrap this up. Someone is asking about accommodation and asked that with experiences, what's the highest to lowest accommodation, including university on campus accommodation? So maybe you just talk about your experiences with accommodation, because of course there's kind of a bit of challenge I hear about that. So who's ready to go? I think Collins is ready to go. He's smiling at me.
uh, I, the I, I'm not gonna. I'm not here for marketing any institution, but but I have to say things facts the way they are. If you're schooling, if you end up in Monster Technological University in Kerry, you would have the opportunity of your tuition covers at least up until before I left, but you can always go and verify at the moment if it's still ongoing.
Okay.
uh, your tuition covers your accommodation during academic session. during
Oh.
ac- So if you're obviously if you're coming in by January to May and you're going for summer break, during your summer break you have to pay for your accommodation. But when school is back in section, you'll be catered for, like there's an accommodation for you. This, like, you cannot overemphasize the importance of having shelter in a new country. So if that's a burden that is being lifted, you end up having some kind of relief. Then on the other hand, the accommodation, it's a problem in Ireland, but I won't go into that because that's not my field. But yeah, an average, it all varies with where you're staying in Ireland. You know, if you're staying in Dublin, if you're staying in Cork, if you're staying in Limerick, or your institution is in these places, you obviously know that the accommodation will not be will be obviously higher than those staying
Yeah.
in lower cities. It's quite applicable in Nigeria and any other place in the world.
Hmm.
So just highlighted my institution where I studied. So it's a huge
Yeah,
it's a
and it's good. They're actually at the fair today, and so if anybody would like to speak with Minster Technological University, DCU, that's where Ora studied, and University of Galway, that's where Rodney studied. So you can also reach out to the representatives. They are here at the fair, and you can speak with them. Rodney or Rulua, do you have anything different to talk about for the seminar, for the accommodation?
Um,
Um, I, for me, yeah, I think Collins covered me there. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
okay.
All right. Thank you.
Um,
Someone is asking Collins specifically. Someone said I have diploma in nursing from FCT school of nursing in Nigeria. I am processing my admission for University of Limerick. Can you share your experience how one could work and school along? Did you get
Okay.
that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, like I said, you get into the system, you get admission, you get your visas and all of that. I don't know anything about that. You come into Limerick. Primarily you're here to study, right? So if you get into the system, try and make friends. It's important to have friends, academic friends as well, and also social friends, because we all need some kind of someone to lean on, support and all of that. So you get into the system, try and attend your lectures. Obviously, you get jobs like healthcare assistant jobs, but you have to do some trainings. And there are some mandatory trainings like children first and safeguarding and all of that, which could be done online, and it's free. But there's some training you have to pay. So my advice would be, while you're studying, you're also working, right? As a registered nurse, I think your goal should be, at the end of the day, how am I going to get registered on with the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Ireland, so I can start practicing as a nurse. That should always be at the back of your mind, at the front of your mind, like you know. So once you have that, have that mapped out, balancing your academic and your social life, I think you'll be fine, because at the end of the day, your goal is to wanting to get your degree first. That's primarily.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, you'll be. I think everybody will be fine. If you have everything and planned, planned out.
You're right. Thank you so much, guys. For just a final word from all of you, we would say that Ireland is would give you a huge return on investment. That is your investment in coming back to when you study, whatever you spend, you get your investment back. What would you have to say about that in your closing statement? And also, would it be okay to share your contact with anybody that's asking? Any student that has gotten their admission and might need your guidance in all their processing when they are here and all of that, if you can allow us to share your contact with them first, and then secondly, the island's return on investment. What's your take on that statement? Thank you. Let's go with Rodney first, and then we'll go to Orolua, and then Collins closes up.
Yeah, sorry. Yes,
Sorry.
I will say that, yeah, indeed, I believe that there is a return to investment, because here you're also investing in knowledge, which will be able to put you at a different level, also in terms of the job market. So yes, I always tell people that if I had to go back to Ireland to study again, I would definitely do it because of the experience that I've had. Yeah.
All right, and you're sharing your contact with any students that might want to have your guidance.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna type my Instagram. Those who have Instagram, that's what I use mostly just to
All right.
communicate and assist people. Yeah, gonna
Yes,
type
you
it in
can
the
type
chat.
it on the comment section. Actually, yes, thank you. Orlua, Ireland return on investment, is that a true statement or not?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely like what you said. First thing is your knowledge. That's like the biggest investments. And there are also job opportunities. And there's this flexibility of applying for your post-study work visa because you don't actually need a sponsor as well. So you would always get your investment back.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then we can share your contact with people if they ask us. All right, thank you so much, Collins.
I think everyone has said everything. I think Ireland is very peaceful. Ireland is there's job security. You get one of the best, you get companies, you can find in the US, in Ireland, the Apples. If you're into IT, you get the hospitals, teaching hospitals, whatever field you're looking for. Ireland should be up there on your list. Yeah. So if you eventually make your choice and you decide you want to come to Ireland, I don't think you're making a bad choice. It's a good country.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us. And if you're here, we have a session with the current students that are presently studying in Ireland that will go live shortly. And also a session with the visa officers as well. You might as well just stay tuned and watch that as well to give you more information about studying in Ireland. Thank you so much to our alumni. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you.
All
Bye.
right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.